Hey guys, welcome to my next Let's Play. It is none other than the first Rayman. This was requested by a friend of mine for me to do, so I thought, what the heck, let's go ahead and do it. But, yeah. Oh, I haven't played this in a while. I remember, this is actually a game I streamed with a friend of mine, back in 2020, I remember going through this whole game with him. This was with my friend that I've talked about before that passed away, and, yeah, now, this game kind of just makes me think of him now. This voice actor, gives 110%.
One fateful day, the evil Mr. Dark steals the great protein and defeats the barrier she tries to protect it. The Electroons, who used to gravitate around it, lose their natural stability and scatter all over the world. Troublesome, isn't it? And untidy, too.
This dude just... Man, his voice, he just goes above and beyond for this intro.
Strange phenomena begin to occur. Freaks and hostile characters appear, capturing every electron they can find. They definitely need a hero to save them now. Don't you think? Rayman to the rescue! No problem. Go and free all the Electroons, Rayman, and bring back the great protein from its mysterious kidnapper. Kill the bad guys, let him do it.
So, something I'm going to also let you guys know is the way I am going to play this game, I'm going to be entering a cheat that gives you 99 lives and already 100%'s the entire game, and you might be wondering, it's like, wait, why would you want it to 100% the game for you? Well, I decided that this game, if you guys have played this game before, I think you know this is one of the hardest games to 100%, and because of that, I am putting in this cheat so that, as I go through the game, we're going to go through every single level. We're still going to go through all the levels in the game, but, we're just not going to have to bother with getting all the cages and everything, because let me tell you, trust me when I say this makes the game so much more enjoyable. This game already in itself is really stinking hard. And then when you realize at the right before the end that, oh, I have to 100% this game just to beat it regularly. And for that reason, I'm pretty sure most people have never actually properly beaten this game because of just how challenging the game actually is. Yeah, I think you get it. But like I said, we're just gonna take our time and go through all the levels. But yeah, it has been almost right around 6 years since I've played this game last. Alright. And Nice thing too about that cheat is it gives us all of our abilities right out of the gate. So like we can just kind of like fly through the levels. Bing. That sound is like so quirky and strange. But yeah, I actually do remember getting this game for the first time. So I actually have a interesting story with this game. So when I was a kid, I remember there was a family that, you know, I grew up with when I was little, and when I was little, they used to babysit me, and I remember, you know, they had a PS1, and like this was one of the many games that they had on their PS1. And I remember playing this, and I don't know why, but like, I remember like the sound of like when you die and everything. Like I don't know why, but I remember like that specifically, like the sound of when you die in this game, like, stuck with me as a kid. And, you know, when you're little, you're so bad at games, so you die constantly. But, like, yeah, this game has, like, a pretty, it has a pretty distinctive and almost, like, iconic, like, death sound when you pass away. Yeah, oh, jeez. Okay, there we go. Now, Rayman 2, I would definitely like to Let's Play. As far as what version, though, I'm not sure, because you can't really go wrong with quite a few versions of Rayman 2, which Rayman 2 is, like, one of the most, like, ported games of all time. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, that game is on so many platforms. Like, it's insane. But, I don't know, like, I don't know if I'd do the PS1 version. No, definitely, scratch that, nope. That is the one version that is objectively terrible because it cuts so much content. What I meant to say is, like, I don't know if I'd do the N64 version or the Dreamcast version. Because, like, the Dreamcast version, at least I think, is the most refined and, like, pure version of the game. Whereas, like, the N64 version has its own charm to it for sure. Like, it's, the N64 version of Rayman 2 is, it was the very first version, I believe. It's the version on which pretty much every other version of the game is based. But, yeah. This game also has quite a few versions. Like, this game has a, I believe, an Atari Jaguar version, if you can believe that. Yeah, there's an Atari Jaguar version. And then there's a PC version, and then there's PS1, and then there's even a Sega Saturn version. And PS1 version is the way, I'm pretty sure the way most people experience this game, because, like, back when this came out, like, everyone had a PS1. But, yeah. Alright. Okay, oh, crap. Okay. There we go. Alright. So we gotta use these plants to our advantage, because down below there is some flooding. Oh, come on. There we go. Some flooding happening, and if you're not careful and you don't hurry up, you're gonna drown. And, obviously, drowning's not good. But, yeah. Yeah, this first Rayman game, though, like, it is still very much... Okay, crap. Alright, there we go. We're good. I was saying, this game still has, like, such a very fun, unique look to it compared to pretty much every other game in the franchise, honestly. Because, like, Rayman is one of those franchises that, like, It might... Oh, come on, really? It might be one of the most inconsistent franchises, like, right alongside Sonic. Because, like, if you look at Rayman's history of, like, its entire game catalog, like, it is so bizarre. Like, just how many different things they try to do with it. Because, like, you have this game, which is, like, a very, you know, endearing and colorful, you know, 2D platformer. And then, after this game, you have Rayman 2, which is, like, 3D. But, like, Rayman 2, like, almost completely abandons, like, any of the lore or vibe from this game. Despite being a really good game, you know? And then Rayman 3, like, almost does the same thing, where Rayman 2 was, like, super... I don't know if super serious is the word, but it was, you know, a more serious game with a slightly more serious story than this one. And then Rayman 3 is, like, just super over the top and, like, kind of comedic. You know? And it's, like, it's real weird. Like how it does that. But, yeah, and then after Rayman 3, that was what a lot of us Rayman fans consider, like, the dark age of Rayman, because that's when, like, the Raving Rabbids games, like, took over for a long time. Now, granted, I actually do have a lot of really good memories with Rayman Raving Rabbids 2 in particular. Like, that was, like, a Wii game that I had growing up that was, like, constantly on our rotation of games we played with friends. But even then, yeah, I obviously still wanted my regular schmegular Rayman games back, you know? But, and then that's when, in 2011, we got Rayman Origins, which was, like, a nice return to form, where it became a side-scroller again. And, like, but a side-scroller with it's very much its own unique style, like, separate from this game. Like, yeah, like, this game, even now, this game still has a very unique vibe and aesthetic to it compared to even the later side-scrolling games. And then we got... Ouch. And then we got Rayman Legends, which, depending on who you ask, people consider even better than Origins. I actually remember I got Legends day one when it came out on the Wii U. And yeah, no, I remember that very... I was, like, in platformer heaven back then, because, like, right around the time that game came out was when Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze came out, and that was also, like, a really good game as well, you know? Like, that was, like, peak 2D platformer back then, you know? Yeah, this game, though, has just such a rich, like, ambience and vibe to it. Okay. Yeah, you will see, though, as you get further in this game will show you no mercy. Like, this is, without a shadow of a doubt... Oh, shoot. Okay, that was... Oh, I did it again. Okay, then. Do I just... Okay, yeah, this is what we do. This is what we do. Do. Okay, why am I playing so badly all of a sudden? I don't understand. I am all of a sudden really bad at video games. I'm gonna try to stop being bad at video games. I'm going to lock in and concentrate and avoid these spiky, cherry-flavored spike balls of pain and discomfort. There we go. Alright. Yeah. So, like, if I remember correctly, I believe I read somewhere that the creator of Rayman, Michel Ancel, I think it said he was only, like, I think he said, like, 19 or 20 when he first made this game. And, like, that's crazy. Like, that's... Talk about talent at an early age, you know? So, the one thing I am noticing as I'm playing this now with this cheat that I activated is the game, unfortunately, I've noticed is skipping the boss battles. So, I feel like it's just only fair to let you know that, unfortunately, we will not be covering the boss battles, except for the very last one with Mr. Dark at the very end of the at the very end of the game. Like, we will otherwise just be going through the levels normally. Ouch. But hey, we get to cover the main meat of the game at least, so this game is just, I remember as a kid just loving how absolutely imaginative and just bonkers this game's world is. Like, if you haven't already been, like, paying attention, which I'm sure you are, like, we are literally playing levels that are entirely made out of musical instruments. Like, I don't know, man, it just this looks really cool. Like, it's really, like, I love how, like, out of the box and, like, just absurd the level design is in this game. Like, just the different stuff you interact with and all that stuff. Okay. So these cloud platforms with the blue dot, ouch, they will dissolve when you step on them, so you gotta quickly jump off and make sure you keep moving, because if you don't, you're gonna fall, and when you fall, you're gonna die, and when you die, you're gonna get frustrated, and when you get frustrated, you're gonna have a bad time. Alright, so this maraca thing just becomes like a jet propulsion thing that we use to progress through the level, and it's quite sensitive, as you can see, so you have to be quite careful with it, which I am trying. Ouch. Okay, oh, okay, ow, okay, oh, we're okay. We took a couple hits, we took a couple ow. Okay, these fly things freaking suck. Like, I always hated those things. Arguably the worst enemy in the game, I would say. Let's restore our health. Okay. I always thought this part of the level was really cool. So, the first time I actually eventually got this game on my own, like the first time I owned it, I actually first got through, my first playthrough of this game was actually the Game Boy Advance version of this game, which, based on what I remember, is actually pretty dang faithful to this version. Like, I think there's some things that are a little different, but for the most part, like, you more or less get, you know, like, this exact same game, just obviously with worse audio quality and some details not being there. But no, the Game Boy Advance version, I do remember being actually, like, pretty similar. excuse me, I need to take a sip of water because my throat was getting kind of parched. Alright, now we gotta navigate this vanilla chocolate flavored whatever the heck this thing is. Like, look at it. Like, what even is this? Like this game and like Banjo-Kazooie, like they just, I swear, like they just threw eyeballs onto like literally anything. Like I don't even think this is like a musical instrument. This is like just a random platformer eldritch horror. Like, it's just like, I don't even know what you would even call this thing. It's just like it's a rotating spherical ball of obstacle course navigation. At least that's what I could come up with. But alright, so this dude here, this dude I remember being a brat. So you want to, okay, I'm really playing this poorly all of a sudden. Yeah, every time he bangs his maraca things, he shoots out lightning, and yeah, you want to try and avoid that if at all possible. And of course we got these eyeballs that also shoot lightning. Basically almost everything in this game is actively trying to kill you. Like don't let this game's... Oh, no, okay. I got scared for a second, but we're okay. I recovered. Alright, now we gotta turn tiny and wait. Alright, there we go. Yeah, no, this game is, at least in my opinion, much more enjoyable when you're just rushing through the levels and you're not stressing about getting all the cages. Because, like, some of the cages, dude, are just hidden in some of the most, like, arbitrary and obtuse ways you can imagine. And, like, this game, I think, is just better for it if you just beeline to the end of the stage. In all honesty. And I apologize if some of you wanted a full-on 100% playthrough, because if that's what you wanted, I understand, but that's not what I'm doing, because, like I said, 100%ing this game in particular is an absolute ball ache. Oh, this part. I'll never forget this part. I remember when I was younger, this took me forever to get right with, like, the timing. Hopefully, I can... Okay, try again. Thank you, Mr. Trumpet Horn Thing Person. Whoa. Okay, checkpoint. Checkpoint, please. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Oh, no. Brah. Okay. Yeah, these trumpets will kind of pull you through the other side like that. And this one you have to punch. And that's a spot that is very easy to die in if you don't know it's coming. I'm actually pretty impressed at myself of how well I'm doing so far, because, like I said, I haven't played this in a while. Then again, I've always kind of had a thing for, like, platformers. Like, I've always kind of had, like, a more of a knack for them. I think that's because for a large portion of my childhood, that's all I mostly played. Like, I didn't play a whole lot of other types of games growing up. Like, it wasn't until, like, my early teens that I started to, like, broaden my, my gaming taste, I guess you could say. But, yeah, no, I was... Crap. Okay. Alright, let's try that again. Okay, whoa. Whoa there, pal. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Alright, yeah, no, this is much harder than it looks. Like, these platforms are very slippery, and if you're not careful, you'll, slip off them and scredoodle your whole situation, like you saw me do a moment ago. Okay. Okay, come on. Careful, please. No, please. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, this is where the game starts to get a little more tricky. Alright. Take our time. As Dr. Leo Marvin would say from What About Bob? Baby steps. Okay. Excuse me, Mr. Blueberry flavored looking tiny creatures of mischief. What? Oh my... Alright. Yeah, no, this might be the first Let's Play that you guys might watch me rage in. Because the other games I've played so far on my channel, I don't have that hard of a time with. But this game will test anyone's patience. Okay. Careful. Careful, jeez. These, like, monk dudes I always thought were interesting. Okay. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright. So that is that level. And this is probably my favorite level in the Bandland area of the game. Like, it's... I don't know, I love the vibes here. We very much depend on these monk-looking dudes that are holding bongos. Like, you're kind of at the mercy of them to help you cross the path. I also love the sound they make when you jump on their bongos. Okay. Careful. Alright. Oh, jeez. More blueberries from hell. then right here we got a crouchy crouch. Alright, this particular platform is real strange. Like, look at this thing. Alright. And right here we have what me and many people are not big fans of in side-scrollers, which is auto-scrolling levels. Precisely for the reason that you just watched happen just now. Crap. Ah. Oh, I hate auto-scrolling levels. Oh my god! Okay. Like, oh, it's just so easy to die in. Another memory I actually have of this game that's kind of interesting is, so I guess before I was born, my older brothers actually had this game on PS1, or at least they used to, because I remember, like, so way back, I'm talking like long time ago, in my parents' dining room, they used to have like this sort of like cupboard dresser thing in there. And I remember just one day just randomly opening up one of the drawers in that room. And I remember I found like a very tattered and like worn down manual for this game in one of the drawers. And I remember looking at it and just being like kind of dumbfounded, because it then occurred to me that at one time my older brothers owned this game for the PS1 before I did. And as to where the disc and case and everything went, I have no idea. But yeah, there was a time when my older siblings had this game. But what actually brought these games to my attention was being babysat by that family that I grew up with, I told you about. But yeah, I also remember the first time I saw Rayman 2. That was I remember my best friend actually. So when we were younger, like, my best friend had a Dreamcast during the time when, like, it was unfortunately long dead, and PS2 and GameCube and Xbox were the relevant systems. But, like, Dreamcast games back then, I guess, were like super cheap, because, like, my best friend's dad would just randomly come home and, like, bring them, Dreamcast games. And one of the games that he ended up getting for them one day was Rayman 2 and KO the Kangaroo. I remember me and my best friend played the crap out of both of them together, and then crap. Okay, we're screwed. We are screwed. We gotta try again. As I was saying, I remember, I was watching and playing Rayman 2 at my best friend's house that eventually prompted me to get my own copy of Rayman 2. And, the thing, though, is that when I first got Rayman 2, I remember, as far as I knew back then, I knew the game that was for the Dreamcast back when I was little. But what I didn't know when I was little is how many systems it was released for. Because I remember going to the video exchange with my mom to try to get it for Dreamcast. And I remember when we were there, like, the dudes were like, the staff at the store were like, Well, we don't have it for Dreamcast, but we have it for Nintendo 64. And luckily for me, we also had an N64, so I ended up playing it that way. And what's funny is, like, I remember when I was first playing it on the N64, I didn't even notice, like, the graphical difference at first. And it wasn't until way later that I ended up playing the Dreamcast version again, buying it properly on my own, that it occurred to me just how much of a graphical leap, the Dreamcast version is compared to the N64. No! Come on! The ending was right there. It was right there. It was right there. Ouch. Okay. Ow. Okay. Alright, that... No, okay. I thought we died for a second, but we're okay. Alright. Alright, I'm just going to... Okay, I guess not. Like I said, I freaking hate these fly enemies. They are a royal pain in the rear. Okay, so it's carefully hang on the ledge here, because I would like that health boost. Crap. Alright, this part here is kind of tricky. Ow. Alright. There we go. Alright, well that is it for Bandland. Now we make our way to the Blue Mountains. I would say this is... I don't hate these levels, but they're probably some of my least favorite in the game, I would say. I just don't find them as interesting as like other levels. But they're not terrible though. Alright. Alright. Next one, the Hard Rocks. Oh, sorry buddy, I just freaked out my cat for a second. I'm sorry, little dude. Okay, this music, listen to this. Like, this music goes hard, dude. Like, this is such a bop. Watch out for the blueberry flavored spike balls of torture. Listen to this. Oh man, you know what? I take it back. I do like these levels. This ambience and music is so good. Ow, 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 ow. Okay. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What is this photographer guy even supposed to be? I don't know why, but like growing up, I always thought he kind of resembled a donkey. I couldn't tell you why, but that's just always what showed up in my brain. Oh, and then it turns into an auto-scroller. You gotta love it. Oh, jeez, oh, jeez, oh, jeez. Okay. No, I was so close. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Come on. Dang nabbit. Gosh dang it, Bobby. The next time you start feeling emotional, instead of letting it out, try holding it in. Is it supposed to hurt? Yes. That was my Hank Hill impression. Why did I do a Hank Hill impression? I just kind of felt like it. I don't know. Alright. Alright. Guys, I will catch you in the next part. Till then, have a good one.